Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala we had, I just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different.
Good morning, and welcome to another edition of a program we call Colres. Right on we are on YouTube and on Facebook so we can discuss issues them where they come from the front page of the different newspaper them. And inside the program today, we not take time for go all over the paper them, but what we go do, we go actually come quickly with we guest inside, and after which we go begin for discuss the issue them. Sometime inside the program, we go as well get for join Sierra Leoneans them na UK as then London as then they about the protest. Right now, and I'm pretty sure we'll get them as we go about the program. So inside the program today, like I say, we not waste any more time. We get one guest where I think maybe end the week for we last time, we last program where we do, and I don't open the week again for we today. Well, we can't look how it like for we able to get inside the program again today this morning, and on a Monday morning we can't see what it gets for we. They can't make the week a good for you or a bad for you. But one thing I know about some of the guests then just one for say waiting at the two thing and they don't care how you feel. And that's how me self care. Not of you feel good and at the end of the day you feel disappointed. Rather, feel disappointed and say that the right thing and they tell you, yeah? Sometimes they find for we give you the right information so that will make you able to take informed decision, whatever thing you want to do. So in the program this morning we get Johnny Paul Kuruma. Johnny Paul Kuruma, there with me inside the program today, follow we discuss things then. By the way, I forget to introduce Johnny Paul proper one to the last time. Johnny Paul, if I see so today, I mean the people in this way they mix for me. Where we are they come up as a Pekin na one Pekin channel where they call Kiddies Radio na Sky Radio. Johnny Paul Kuruma, after we if don't go, I remember one story and I laugh. But I'll ask you this question first. Johnny Paul, welcome to the show. Before I begin talk something, welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being at the platform all the time. Thank you so much again, Pierre.
Okay. Johnny Paul, the time way una be the mix for me, you been get one you commit when they call Brightel.
You don't think when was it? A couple of days ago, they asked somebody.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not a Brightel for what? Quite a long time. I don't know. I remember the left way at the time we go what you call the radio station? What's the radio again? I've forgotten what. Yeah, but it don't take a couple of years, over 10, 15 years, and not see Brightel.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember them telling their smile. I said, wow, Johnny Paul. Anyway, so them now the person in this way began to show me how for push mixer. When they fader they down, how for put them if they fader, even if they fader they up, waiting for mute and unmute them. So thank you very much. I appreciate that so much. And I'm glad that I'm able for sit tonight again, for able for discuss things that we get for the international development. Thank you very much for the good things that they years back. Thank you very much.
20 years back.
Yes.
19, 20 years back. It's good you are grateful and it's good you remember that always. So that's the pleasure we always get. At least people the way they give the history of what we've done in the years past.
Yes. You
growing, at least they make her feel absolutely fulfilled.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh yeah. And sitting on your platform, I think it sends a very good signal.
Okay.
With or without my busy schedule, I always want for spare time for the part of this. It makes me proud.
Thank you.
Thank you once more for having me.
Thank you.
And I seek you permission for that they skip me Liverpool tea.
Not a problem. Never walk alone.
We're never gonna walk alone, and that is what we want for Sierra Leone.
All right. Okay.
Let's work together.
Exactly. Anyway, so let me start with the program better one, and I want for we look at few papers then while we go on with the discussion, and one of the paper I will take for example, this one look interesting. I don't know if it could be interesting to so many other people, but for me, it just look interesting. The paper where they call Times newspaper say surprise, surprise, surprise. Anyway, not away. President Bio boots out Sacred Cow. You get David Francis, you get Memuna Toof. David Francis have been Foreign Affairs Minister, Memuna Toof have been Tourism, JJ Safan have been Chief Minister. Who is this next guy? I'm not going for recognizing first. And then you get Alpha Timbo, where of course now be Labour. And so this not some of the key players them. Alpha Timbo na be one time player where they get issue with these Chinese guys, then go then come back, then say no case. I don't know. What do you think that President Bio at this point in time, pull them people there so come out inside a new cabinet list?
Well, I just begin from David Francis and the JJ Safar. We know David Francis was demoted from being the head of ministers, chief minister, to being Minister of Foreign Affairs, and finally today he's not there. Well, we don't know something a bigger position there in waiting. And we also come to Mr. JJ Safar, who was promoted from the finance ministry to becoming the chief minister, head of ministers in Sierra Leone by then. And today in name we not listen him. We not hear him. Maybe there are other positions at the background we most of we don't know about here, so we don't have to condemn them. Well, it's a surprise because everybody be the look up say something very good for CAM, for them what they are, so they're from being at the forefront, But notwithstanding, the wisdom of the president is always better than any other person, also. Like I say the other day, if you call anybody for work with you, you want to forget somebody who you know say able for control, not so. Able for tell us, say the man go clean here, they're able for do one for you. If you go do in not the way we want them for be, sometimes you don't go talk, but you go wait for the other opportunity avail himself, and then you go do what you want for do. And that normally they settle them as. And some of the names that will not show up and we then face them there. I don't know, sometimes there are some background appointments for them way bigger than perhaps the position where they be occupied in the future. But I saw a picture yesterday, we are seeing on the social media, was he then chief minister and foreign affairs minister later, see all like a suitcase, somebody is saying Baba is to Sierra Leone. I don't know how true that can be or whatnot, but I saw it on the social media. I'm not able to analyze them with a comment underneath, and I go to go so. I saw exactly the person right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we see other phases them, like new phases them we don't come inside. And some of them phases there, so we will get, thing where we will label them with. For example, we see the face of one of the youngest where we see na Chernobyl, where now the information minister, Minister of Information and Civic Education, something like that. Where we don't see right now. I think our idea where they talk about youthful, appointments, cabinets, where they see now. This now the manual they talk about. And this man been get one organization where they call Purposeful. And Purposeful, done the work seriously with this government. But unfortunately, like some people they say this particular, election, this particular, cabinet or other things, and this particular government, they expose several people and civil society, journalists, the underhand role where they play, in terms of the governance issue in the country. This man be always done the stand with the government in as much as things that may go on will not be correct, but he always they support the government. Now we don't see they don't give an appointment as the information minister. So waiting this they send, who's sticking away they send out to people where they under the shell, the cover of a civil society.
We are hypocrites. Now just begin from that point there. And the world at large, I think, we live in a world of hypocrisy. So when you they fight for certain things, others they look at it, they make like say they set like you side, they say other things, and they think differently. That is what exactly we mean the hypocrisy, the level of hypocrisy with it, right? And the area of the civil society, I remember when I began at university at the time. Maybe there as a electoral commissioner. And upon the conclusion of the election, the first thing that comes was an appointment for me. I declined. I become an enemy to the president, to the government by then at the university. You understand? So these are the points. I'm not going to preach things, or I'm not going to be a middleman. You understand? Are they like a referee? Then later I wear vest for for kind of play for one of the teams. I can't do that. The same way we waiting at the media and the civil activists. Yeah, we not go preach some things them, and then when it come to a latter point, they say, well, Kawo could be then waiting for happen and I first lock him out. Young, you know, get nothing again for talk because anything talk now, you have been implicated. They don't give you a responsibility. What you said, if the government fail now, you are a failed person as well. So if you come with a very genuine conscience, a very genuine heart for work for the good of the nation, for the good of Africa, to say per se, you go for help with. But looking at these ones, I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. Because right from the beginning,
this young
always
man
a preach.
Now the best of friend, not to be now the best of friend of David Senge, for example, and it can proposally for see how best they can able for team up and help, you know, progress, you know, the government. And if Fatima, for example, they make, you know, the kind of mark where they make so right now outside there, you know, then people also they underground games them, you know, or the underground help plan or call games, you know, assistants don't they actually push them that way there. So you know, this particular government, some people they look at as a way for compensate certain players, then we be not the play you know, secretly for help them.
Now if I can go over this again, yeah, the level where Sierra Leone Day and where the civil society is supposed to play in saving the fabrics of the nation. We see some deep amount of selfishness and hypocrisy in it. If you're not a civil society organization, the number one thing you're supposed to do, you're not activist, a civil society activist, number one thing you need to do, now for listen to the cries of the people, not so? And when you listen to the cries of the people, then you will know exactly what to do. It's not bad to work with a government. I'm not condemning it outside.
As an
activist. Yeah, you can work with a government. But what is your intention? What is at the back of your mind working with the government? Is it for a selfish purpose, selfish gains? Or is it coming at the back of you wanting to make a change that will reflect in the lives of the people in the country? So these are the points we want to always look at here. All right. But if you look at the majority, you know, accept what comes out, and then you as a civil society activist, would they expect, say, or you as a journalist, would they expect, say, for say things will be better? But on the background, you are doing it in the favor of whosoever has been vastly condemned. It means you are also, you deserve a condemnation, absolutely. All right. Again, with your permission, let's just say this again. Yeah, I receive a lot of secret calls and some other commendations with regards to the last week meeting. But to the one the way they listen, we send me a commendation, we give me warning, wait to me and see and say not threatening. I'm not gonna be afraid of it, to be honest enough. As far as my conscience very clear that I'm doing it for Sierra Leone, I'm not doing it for partisan sake, like I mentioned the other day. So I've got no fear. Some give me some piece of advice. Some also send some warning, which to me I see as threatening, right? But I owe nothing against anyone. I owe nothing for anyone. You
appear on the last show?
Oh yes. Okay. I don't know some of the words that were being talked, but I will say again, I'm not saying that disclaimer. I will be happy for it at this platform again and again. And when it comes to saying the truth, I'll be saying it again and again and again. My life then I got in hand. The respect then I got in hand. And I'm gonna say that again and again. I say it on this platform because I get some of the secret one in the day. All right. Let me come again. Let's come again over this issue again. Yeah. Me and you now activists in the making. We are journalists, right? And we're activists. And what thing we stand for now for see Salone better, now for see Africa better. But when people tend for the hypocrite, they hide under the radar and bring something they make in the name of a defect for you, but indirectly, you know, the fight for you. Only for they get a name, then call them a corner and say, no, lock him out. Take this one. That is where the problem lies. That is exactly the problem. We make the change. Always the clamor for not able for come. That is it. And we need to get people we for stand for that truth. We for stand out. We go say, irrespective of your brown envelope, irrespective of your package. So that's an extent that we country money. If you give me I make use of for like we develop the country in other areas. But I'm not gonna come to dance in your tunes. If we get people outside where they say, I'm not gonna be in the box at all time. Liable for think outside the box and act outside the box and see how we're able to bring the change, then we will get the change we want. I'm not too no chair no that much. So I have got nothing much to say about him. But I'm afraid if he's the other type.
Okay. So I think like I've been just they commend you just not for Kiddies Radio. So the 10 na Mondays Wednesday don't take na the field just like anyone of we. You know, as a child CFN Children's Forum Network president those days. Voice of Children, they tell you know been there, you know, okay. Be you know, ski player at some point, you know, he rise up from that level, you know.
No, I don't remember the person. I was street.
Yes, then he go up and then he move out of the country, he go up and come and he create a group where he call Purposeful like organization where actually done the work in collaboration with the government at every point in time. You know, several times in the way, even this election, you know, we see other people.
Hello.
Yes. So, Johnny Paul, please.
Yes. I don't know how to link live for you a live video feed.
Okay, so
and I'm not really clear how I didn't street.
You did get me?
Yeah, wait now, let them pass the noise.
You did get me clear?
Yeah, they get you clearly.
All right. So for now,
I mean, I'm not too good with this technology. I want to start giving a live feed.
No, in this. Everything don't okay for you. For now, waiting a while you do for me.
Yeah.
Just mute first. I'll come back to you. Like just done with another guest quick, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Just mute.
You mean like exit first, yeah?
No. If you exit, I'm not going for each one to you. Because your number not get that. Just mute and stay with me. Mute them. Press the mic and stay with me.
I say you get Westminster connect.
All right, is it the best thing because right now with the mobile, when we decided to do the petition itself, I will come back.
Okay, no problem. Yeah? Thank you.
All right, okay.
That are the UK team, isn't it? I agree, Westminster.
Yes, then the UK, yes. All right, I'm very sorry for that. That now, people and way they attend the protest actually in the UK right now, but they will join us later. For let me actually get the program going again. But for now, we get to Johnny Paul. Yes, so now been the kind of background this way, I've been the key. But now you've been just to talk about, you know, Marabi know exactly that they work with them very well. And the other game for, you know, deliver when he put them there. So we see it don't become new faces them inside. But in the beginning, you talk about David Francis. You say, if in the beginning, maybe they as chief minister, then they move him to foreign affairs minister. So now, taking into consideration JJ Safar and Chief Minister, you know, and David Francis, whatever position they give them now, most people they consider them for be the demotion, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. You think say I don't know because anybody depends power sweet. You think say then people are really ready for take up any other position? Taking into consideration most of the top or senior position they don't be distributed.
Well, let's be honest, we live in a world of in a selfish world, right? We you know they ever preempt within somebody they think in mind. Okay? And some can say, well, let me not in at the limelight, not just in at the corner, and I don't say at the receive, which are supposed to receive, that is a big one, or at the dictate the affairs of the running of the state. All right? Some can prefer that. Say, let's just stay in isolation. And let we allow the young, because looking at the cabinet set now, I look at and say, now one way, I again apologize if I step on anyone. Maybe we get the dictates of maybe the Mami himself.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you look at all the one them that people that we like from the story given here, we don't work directly with the first lady in the first term. And either directly or partially with the first lady in the first term. And other names and they show face. So which means so one people away when the Mami say, hey, and that way they will follow. And wait till the Mami say the pastor get for follow them. If it be for the good of Sierra Leone, they will go enjoy them. But if it be on the other side, then we all go suffer. And then the Mami get for say, yeah. Right. And for back to the question again with the one and they. So me and you sometimes will say I'm saying a demotion. But to them, we did at the background so they catch more bigger than which if positive for Sierra Leone, they go say no, I don't want it. But if it's selfish for himself, then he go say then let's just accept whatever come as long as they earn bigger perhaps more than even with they earn. That's what we look at them anyway.
So what about the name like Dennis Sandy? We don't find himself inside the list again.
well, he not gonna be surprising to himself. So himself, he not go surprise.
Okay, why?
Because he wasn't to the end of the first time. He not be there, not so.
Yes.
It was after a period, so which means he got for checking records. You get for checking records properly, even within the house where he belonged. You get for checking records before you come out to the national area. You understand the point here? And it's only we don't receive too many blames as Minister of Lands. Even me, if I get away for time, I forfeit time. But I will not do that. I'm a Sierra Leonean. I get a forgiving spirit. Okay? But let me be honest enough. I'm not too sure. The one that we come, apart from David Senge, we very loud now, the Ministry of Basic Education. And most of the other one, the way they name them, come now the limelight, will not be there about them much. All right? They'll be in the background. Chernobyl being a civil society organization and a trained journalist. So all of them one and they be at the background. We're not being too heavy, but them too loud in governance, especially during the first time of President Bio. But coming to this point now, all of them one and they we look at and say they get something for do for convince the world. And coming at the other side again, the other view as a critic. All right, I will look at and say the one that will be first, they don't all get the young. The one that we can, una self we been contribute for lay we come in the first and second time. This now on our own turn. All man forget life now by turn.
You know, but
I just think that carried it.
The
previous one they don't get there, you know already.
Dennis Sandin the can now as Minister of Works and Public Assets. This now the man way, you know, something that I can consider for being lucky, but I can always say something not to be play with a luck. Under the last government, he didn't Minister of Lands, he get issue with people them for land business, then pull and they then send and go social welfare from there, then dismiss them. Under this government, the last 5 years, he did as Minister of Lands, he get issue with people them, then dismiss them. And now he don't come back inside the second year, and now the Minister of Works again. You know. So I wonder how it will get for end again. Taking into consideration the record.
Again, I make this statement again, yeah. I make a previous statement. Say the one them we sabi label, we sabi connect themselves. When I look at the cabinet set, especially the second phase, most of the names are the one that we get the absolute connection with the Mami. I say that again. They get absolute connection with the Mami. All right. Dennis Sandy is one of them. I'm supposed. All right? Is one of them. I'm supposed. Now, you see the way I laugh, no, so it not surprise me that he is given us another term. He's given another term. And again, I'm not sure he may surprise me, but one thing we're on the way absolute. I don't think he will come back for be the same person. Arrest me case that area.
Okay, he will come back. Since you talk about connection, you see the minister of let me see the minister Nabila Tunis, yeah. Yes, Nabila Tunis. The minister. Let me just see. I see in him just now. Yeah, Nabila Tunis, the minister of tourism and cultural affairs. Even there as foreign affairs minister.
Foreign affairs.
They dismiss him, and then a man the speaker of ECOWAS Parliament. Now been the leader of government business. When we say a senior person, a man vex, and then automatically we see them create another ministry for him, Ministry of Western Area. Now they don't put on a Ministry of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. This is not the same connection they talk about. And this, me, in my opinion, this woman not a bad person, not a bad person for work with. Very intelligent. But the question is, dismiss him, and because of connection, bring him back, and now they don't elevate him again.
One of the sad things where we always suffer as Sierra Leone, the one that we employ, when they pay out of we taxpayers' money, then they put them in a position without consulting us, and when they fire them without giving reasons as to why they are terminated. So which means you can just grab back tomorrow and say, well, I can't get back because there was no reason for termination. We understand. Like give an example of Mahmoud Tarawali. Was it Mahmoud Tarawali, who was terminated without an outstanding reason. And after some time, we see them bring and come back because they say you don't justify a reason, you don't apologize, it's been settled in the court and the court permits them for come back. That was another clear one. But there were other people also, and coming to this one again, other people this government where they vastly condemn that attitude, that behavior there. So for like you come, yourself can begin work under that same path there, that same route where you be condemned, say this road not straight, fine. A lot of worker, then you can't be back. It's a shame anyway. I'm so sorry for that again, if I hurt anyone by saying that. But it's a shame Only you don't condemn something. You say this not fine, this not fine. Then you come back, you can't do perhaps you are way worse than that. Again, let me come back to Denis Sandi. Denis Sandi Namawe from the APC, he was Minister of Lands. He gets issued there. Then pull and come on lands and send and go na social welfare. Was it social welfare? He gets some other issues there, and he was also terminated from there. And then he can't sit down wait for this other regime. He come na lands. Lands, he get too many issues with them pull and commodity. And now we see now he can't get another one, which is perhaps another bigger one. So it makes no difference, which means, I mean, plus or minus everything, he's the same person we've known in the past 3 terms that he has served. And it's going to be the same. Nothing is going to change from him.
Look right? At this other position.
If he change at all, now it's surprise to plenty of Fiscalonians.
Look at this other
position. If he change at all, not surprise. Yeah, sorry, please.
The position where this is a swap position between Yusuf Keke Thomas Sandi and that of Solomon Jamiu. Yusuf Keke Thomas Sandi will be the press secretary, where the secretary for the president in charge of the media. And now you don't get Solomon Jamiu. Solomon Jamiu, they don't move with him from Deputy Minister of Information, go to Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, back to Deputy Minister of Information, now to Press Secretary. And then the Press Secretary don't come to Deputy Minister of Information, another swap. In my opinion, I think Solomon Jamiu very much honest in terms of how they deal with things. Keke Thomas Sandi kind of dishonest, if I can put it that way. Now that kind of person where they talk like a politician, whereas Solomon not they talk like a politician. So I don't know, this kind of swap where they see. Now they see swap. And one other very important position, well, not so important, where another person where a lot of people they look for as Lyle and Slimmer and they're not show up yet. It still remain at the position where they first, because they're not getting a new position yet, and then nobody not taking position yet. It's still there outside there.
Well, sometimes they wait for we will get for talk, we talk. Then decide now to look how it's answer for one. Then say talk back now. If they talk back. Let's just begin with Keke Thomas and Solomon Jamiu. One of the most intelligent and honest people the way President Bio ever employed for serve in governance, na Solomon Jamiu. Right? And I'm supposed the one time for Kandini Adipa, we're not able for the give you out absolutely. Right? We're not going to say Noka could be again because you are very much important. We need you always. But because of the hard truth, we perhaps be the talk, the honesty we be the display, we will not want you in that area. Kandini Adipa now. So anything you want for talk now, the person go know and then go for you a precaution. They go for you a precaution before you come out for talk with you want for talk. So I look at them then kind with it. And then again, coming to Keke Thomas be the play a role where they want time for continually for the play. Mind you, the Ministry of Information has never been a pure Ministry of Information. There was a period where they inquired Solomon Jamiu for quite so long, especially towards the end of the first term, the inquired time, the year, because whenever he comes, he would say what the people want to, what the people need to know, other than what the people want to hear. You understand? And the Ministry of Information, other than it being a Ministry of Information, it's becoming a propagandist unit. All right? A propagandist unit. Telling people what they want to hear, not what they need to hear. You understand the point? That is exactly what is happening. And so, looking at Keke Thomas Sandi, from the time we've been there as press secretary, Keke Thomas not they bring me waiting really we need for no a waiting need for it. Now waiting they feel say if they hear him, at least he go appease them at a moment, irrespective of what's waiting for happen at the end of the day. You don't care for get on the toes of whosoever that is there, as long as he say him for appease a boss and for satisfy the conscience of the government. That is what he does. Unlike Solomon Jamiu, he would come very plain and say some things. Perhaps they kind of implicate himself, but they say some things that we get some amount of fact and truth in it, other than just bringing us a fact without truth in it. We get the point there. So at that point, they need just to look at here. And I mean, again, I go over the statements what I mentioned earlier. I believe say Solomon Jamiu, they bring Kani Adipa. So whatever you want for say now, the party forget and look on them and know.
But I mean, I think otherwise. Solomon Jamiu very much intelligent. The party make a lot of mistakes when they go outside. A lot of mistakes. Not to the State House, director of communication maybe for correct part. not to they're not able for tell the power how we for come out and present it very well. And they make a lot of blunder way they go outside, and they do a lot of things that we're not supposed for the way they do go outside. Maybe Solomon Jari, and take into consideration you don't be experienced as the minister of deputy for a long time, as a professional, lawyer, maybe it will come help for help in waiting the party go out and present to the public. Maybe.
Well, that now on the positive arm. To which I also want to subscribe. Solomon Jami is one of the most intelligent young Sierra Leoneans. And he understands communication. To a certain extent, it even surprised me, let's say this year, but it be even surprised he's not a professional journalist, yeah? But he know certain things we're supposed to do in the information ministry more than the one that some of them win a professional journalism in the years past. That's the very honest truth. Right? I'm just being blunt. And bringing him there, perhaps on the positive arm from which you look at here, it can serve as a background advisor to the bar. We look at some of the presentations, even though the public gets in the public, there were too many grammatical errors. To the one that we know English, they will tell you too many issues. So now having somebody like that, we know how to play with the words, how to play with the English words. I mean, you're able to help the bar in a better way. I think so. I think I'm then carried again anyway, in support of the statements he just made. I think he can't forget what he did to leanings. On the other hand.
Yeah, you will find that if you really help him, you will find. But again, the one that we did the party picking a bokuna that side. Anyway, we move to another issue. Where basically get for
again, sorry. Yes, if you observe the executive setup this time around here, most of the people we come up, with the exception to very few like the Dennis Sandy, most of the people the way their names them come up, they not get that kind of stain we would say they don't see record too badly. Most of the names they would see in the cabinet, yeah, the executive of the executive arm of governance. With due respect to all the one that we get the appointments and all the one who been on serving the previous years. But most of the one who will be serving the previous years, if we must get one or two negative things that we will say about them before they come into governance. But here we get an executive way majority. Let's look at the one in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Wuri. All right. I don't talk to a few students, a few of the former students them what you call it, the commas. He gets a very clean and sweet record of them all. So you find out that people will get some very clean, most of them get clean record now the president bring around this time around. So I don't know what's in the background. Would that the one for convince? Either now we or the international community say, well, this, that. But I'm supposed if we don't start by appeasing us, the Sierra Leoneans, if then we will forgive the better advice. Because it's questionable. Plenty people not still believe, say, Madam, you're supposed to be the president at this moment. Right? Yeah. So,
all right. Just hold on quick, so please. Yes, and Quetta.
No, Ahmed.
Oh, Ahmed. Yes, Ahmed. Waiting up in the stages now. Allah just done with the guest, yes, and then. You get me?
Now, Quetta just shared the link with me. I don't tell.
Okay, so with the count, who's part on Adesso right now? You get me?
Hello?
Yes, you get me?
On this one, so I didn't know. They get
me?
They get you. They get me.
Yeah, they get you. So who's part on Adesso right now?
Hello? They get you?
Yeah, they get you.
Yeah.
Who's part on Adesso right now? Okay. So, who's side on the end for so right now? Westminster? Alright, we will get challenger now with the network. Quetta, you get me? You get me, Ahmed?
No, Ahmed.
You get me?
Ahmed. Yes.
You get me clear?
I will get you clear.
Yes, who's on the end for so right now?
When they go towards St. Thomas's now, we don't say around Waterloo towards St. Thomas's, and then we cross Waterloo Bridge now after St. Thomas's across the bridge, and then we heading for Westminster.
Okay, Westminster. What do they actually go for doing at Westminster? You get me? All right, we actually get some challenge with the internet from the one that we did the protest, but I think say we will get for come with them on a very fresh something, and we actually get Johnny Paul right now, but the coverage from London, UK, the one that we did do protest there, is not too good, but we will come to them back for let we actually see what in the happen. But for now, they're doing the protest, as you can see. They're doing the protest right now. JP, we actually want to go yonder, but the network look bad off. For the sake of this program, I think 2 days we're not able to get you done. So what I want to ask you as part of the last thing before we try to go over to the people in there. Now we'll talk about the US. The US, to do a report where they talk about the fiscal transparency report on Salon, where they say we actually, the thing where we they put in a law and the thing where we they preach we they practice with what we they do as a way of practice now two different things. Yeah, in terms of following the procedure and other things, on the transparency, not to the same thing. We not follow that at all. What do you make up of this? Because they try to tell me about okay, we they do good things, then at the internet and then at the website they go forget access to them. But when it comes to procedure, what thing they say that they do, with what thing they actually put as the law, now two different things. They not follow procedure at all. What do you make up of this?
This now things that we don't see quite a long. We don't see them. We don't see. We don't talk them quite a long time ago. From the time the business then begin, waiting the trend at the media, different from we waiting at the one waiting at the ground, waiting they see exactly. You understand? So it take time for the people like the United States and other players na the international platform for make them let them able to observe exactly what they happen. All right, and then just they bring now some of them things there. So we some we don't know quite a long ago. Say what would they see now the ground? It's different from the reports that would they go out there, and that's one not they send a good signal for a country. They send a good signal for a government. They send a good signal for a people. For the people of the country. Don't get any good reports at all. So I don't know. You get for take a couple of weeks, a couple of months, a couple of maybe year for let the government able for really convince then people also say yes, which will be the same in this exactly. But not to me, it not surprise me. You understand? It be just the wait for let take time for let the truth come out. So then one the way being they'll feel say wait. I remember the MCC the reports all the time the way they come. Waiting the one they waiting at the ground, waiting the feel and waiting the report they bring. They were reports at par. All right, it not be exactly the same. So it give me the question now: how the one the way they submit the report them, who that they talk to? So when you live in a country where gets a divided kind of opinion, it becomes extremely difficult. You get divided opinion, and that is exactly what the politician wants. We live in a world of hegemony, not so. And now, one of the things that we don't succeed for see, where they don't succeed for do to we in Sierra Leone at the moment, that divide and rule concept. Let's divide the people, and they will be able to rule them.
So,
that is exactly
on the area of this fiscal discipline, even in the MCC report where you talk about, so I know see even in the last time. They're not can normally pass them at all. Fiscal discipline in terms of how they spend money, how they go about so many procedure in terms of financial expenditure and other things. They're not can pass them at all.
Yeah. They never pass it because transparency never did that area.
So if even when you get people allegedly say, you know, them people are the work in the interest, they give like what you yourself don't say just now. They waiting they come from the report different from waiting, you know, they happen at the ground. Even with that, for example, there's still the pass. But yet still this area of fiscal discipline is not the past day. Look at anti-corruption, for example. It be not very clear. They be not tell me the last time say all waiting the MCC need now effort. For example, it not necessarily means say they don't do them, but just effort. That is why you see this government in terms of documentation, in terms of passing laws, in terms of other things, they're very good in terms of that. Nobody need to take away from them. But what them lack in at the area of implementation. Let's look at corruption, for example. The audit report will count a lot of malpractices then. You know, other people will tell you about a lot of malpractice that will happen, like the African Express and other things then. And other things in there where you go see and say, no, corruption they happen inside us, yeah? When they go challenge the government don't go for challenge. But yet still, they get things the way they put as a way of policy where they make them get pass marks. And once civil society activity don't tell we say, then international index there as well. It's not about whether you don't do them. Waiting the people they see as accomplished as something they don't do, and waiting them they see as don't do, are two different things. Then just need policy in place, whilst the people then need action. So that's two different things. So even with this kind of action, where we look for will not get, but then with the policy, there's still the fail in that area there. Because somebody will ask, why they still the pass a corruption with this I mark, where a lot of corruption they go on inside the country. From the office of the president, the office of the first lady, the office of the VP, the office of the, even the office of the auditor general, right now to the talk show, when they try for massage some of the corruption where they happen inside the government. All of them things are, but yet still anti-corruption, they get a very good part in the MCC.
Now, again, I come again. When we get people away, feel say they are educated, or they are learned, I use the word. Book learning is different from education. Mm-hmm. You understand? Mm-hmm. The most educated person will always not think of himself. They think of the one, the way they are around them. How you able for benefits them. Anyone who thinks I just benefit myself. I they question your education, mm-hmm. the level of education, right? Mm-hmm. And I come again with the area of report writing. Mm-hmm. Report writing is always different. Most of the projects that really happen in Sierra Leone. I worked with a project in Sierra Leone. I had to leave prematurely. I had to resign prematurely because the reports what me supposed to do, me where they on the ground. When you don't fall down, waiting that the trainer say cancer and quite different from waiting you will implement the project implement. And if you want forget, if you're a man of integrity, you know, we'll continue in any kind of platform day, you know, we'll continue for work day. And that is exactly what's happening here. And so that man where they over under, except you get people on the ground, like the US Embassy in Ayasa, and also they know everything where they happen to we, but they just because of sovereignty, say no to business. Let it happen. Waiting they happen to them, let it happen to them. And only come when it comes to them directly, and I tell them they put more param for see what they get for see. Like how team on camp and cancel now. They get for see what they get for see. But all the while, we always know say one, we good at report writing in Sierra Leone. Number two, we're good at policy development. If they don't make a policy for you done, you will look at and you will feel say, oh, this is Sierra Leone will change the next 5 minutes. We've been. I remember in 2013, Sierra Leone was ranked the champions of agriculture in Africa. Not so. Was it 2009? Sierra Leone was ranked the champions of agriculture in Africa. But still, people would import to our staple food. All right. I remember some of the other things that will happen. They don't rank we inside Sierra Leone within this other time again. Now, certain other areas we are based on policy, not based on the implementation, not based on the action, not based on waiting people that they experience at the ground. So it become a problem for we development if we continue that platform. So these are just an exposure. They just expose we leaders. Now the international platform say they have never been honest. The report will be the key, the policy will develop, we make they rank them to outside they rank them. It wasn't correct. Now let's come now, because if the policies will be developed reflective, with all honesty, 5 years, if I don't see at least some glimpse of a change in the economy, if I don't see some glimpse of a change, even in the society, but if we not see nothing absolutely, things just go from bad to worse, other than positive change, we continually see negative change. No problem. Powerful things need for change in the positive way. for begin think I'm that kind of way. Other than we say, Papa, how want and I say for go. But how the people in want time they go that kind of way. All right. Again, the U.S. government now they are open. I think they are not been too clear. The one that will be the report to them, they're not being honest at a point in time, or they be get at the fact. They wait at a time like this.
All right. Thank you. And actually, we don't try, but actually they can beg for Lewi. I left you in this at this point, and Lewi when they can join, the protest now UK for Lewi see what exactly they get for we. But if I can ask you now, with this kind of players, then what we don't see, with this kind of thing, where we see. Or before I ask you this question, I just ask you. Last week, the presidential, the presidential candidate, and as well the leader of the opposition party been in a court. So we see the first accused shed tear at the court. What do you make up of this case in brief? In as much as it's in a court, in brief, from what you see, not in details.
Well, if you see man go to court, he cry openly, must not say wait one for a not say the
okay.
And that way no more court matters normally I can afraid for put most day. You understand? I can afraid especially when a decision has not been taken by the juror or the judges. So I can find it difficult for us to say something about that. But if you see man boss cry, man, not a woman, in the public must not say wait one for a not say you don't be here.
Okay. Thank you very much, Johnny Paul Kuma, and I'm very sorry we will get something like 15 more minutes for end the program, but I'll beg for them we left fire at this point and tell you plenty thank you. I don't know what people think, large just you and think how can we get the US transparency report? Okay, and this is how they people go. Alright, so okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, all right. So I think the report, the thing that already come. Thank you very much to all. 632 way to watch right now with 181. Please do not like the program and share. On Facebook we get 451 way to watch right now with 190 likes. Please do not like and share the program. We can end the program now. And then we can go straight off where we end this. We come back with another. So if you're not subscribed, please consider for do so. We'll come back with the coverage from United Kingdom, London to be specific. Decided they do a protest right now. We can't know waiting at the details of the protest from them where they right now. So until we meet again, I want to tell you now. Thank you very much and say God bless we country Sierra Leone. Thank you very much, Johnny Paul Kuma, for you taking time and join me. Even when we waste your time at the beginning because they try to do something there. But thank you very much and always appreciate you now. So
always a pleasure being here. Thank you, Ali. Pierre.
It's okay. All right. So the producer for this program, Elias Sabah. Elias Sabah, thank you very much. You always done the best, so amazing, so stunning. For get with the guest them and prepare the program very well. Thank you very much. I mean, not just the face, but the one way actually put the guest them together. Thank you very much. I always appreciate you. Until then, and on for the watch, we appreciate you so much. Until then, we'll get for meet again. Join me again soon. In the next 5 minutes, we'll join again with a protest from London. Okay. Until then, love you all so much.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how news again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the Wahala we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for it in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had. Plenty things then they happen. I wonder how news again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, let's just go to the kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colores, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the people, the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we